Instagram right now or on Facebook, on LinkedIn, on YouTube. Welcome. My name is Lisa Dublin, and this morning we're going to be talking about boundaries. Start with Who You Are is the series for this month of July. And today we're talking about setting boundaries. Like, do you know what your boundaries are? Are you comfortable setting your boundaries? How do you go about communicating to the people around you when your boundaries have been crossed? Let's discuss all of these things. A special welcome to my diamonds in the To All the Girls Success Club. Welcome, and I hope you're doing well this morning. So I usually begin. Oh, my son is online. Hi, Eagle. How are you doing? Hi, Evelyn. Good morning to you. I'm trying to see if I can go live on Instagram. Just do it natively as opposed to going through Restream because it doesn't save. Like it just doesn't save. So let's go. So we usually begin, and I didn't do it yesterday. I haven't done it the last couple days. You guys, Seth is biting my toes. Eagle, come get your dog, okay? I am blessed and highly favored, above only and not beneath, the head and not the tail. No weapon formed against me shall prosper. I shall lend and not borrow. I have nothing missing and nothing broken. When you start your day saying your confessions, what happens is you tell the day where to go. You put your mind in a winning framework, and that's what you want. So put your own confessions together and say them every single day. Every day, we just face so many trials and so many things coming against us. It makes sense to begin the day in some sort of positive mindset, a mindset that says, hey, I'm ready for the day. Let's go. Okay. So what are boundaries? And yesterday we've been speaking about starting with who you are in the context of loving yourself, in the context of having values, and how do you communicate those things to people. Next week, for sure, we're going into finding out what your deepest values are. Do you know right now you are living your deepest values? That doesn't mean that it can't change, right? And we're going to look at that for the entire week next week, and I'm going to put out something where you can go and figure out what your values are. But for today, let's talk about boundaries. Here's a definition for boundaries that I pulled off the internet. Boundaries show where one thing ends and another begins. Make sense? Yeah, seems like a truism so far, eh? Now, boundaries in relationships are like this, they help each person figure out where one person ends and the other begins. In short, boundaries help you define what you are comfortable with and how you would like to be treated by others. Just sit down and think about your own life with your friends and if you have a loved one, if you have a partner, if you are in any kind of relationship. When you have boundaries, setting them can be uncomfortable. But once you set them and they are being respected, why is it that you have a better relationship with whoever is respecting your boundaries? And it goes the other way as well, that if you are that kind of person who's big on respect, on big on boundaries, it goes without saying that you should also be the kind of person who understands when somebody else sets their boundaries. You should be the first person to be like, absolutely, I understand where you're coming from. It might not be comfortable for me, but I understand that this is your boundary. I will not cross it. Some people, are like, I have my boundaries and I want to trample on others. It doesn't work that way. That is disrespect. So let's begin. What are your boundaries? What are you willing to take from people? So I have this little phrase and I keep on saying it, but I don't want to be crass or anything. But I love to say, for example, I've learned it over the years that, you know what, I'm not a toilet bowl. So I don't take what goes in there. You know what I'm talking about? And it's not a matter of being rude. It's not a matter of like being very pompous with it. It's a matter of I love myself. I think I'm a wonderful person. I'm not perfect, but that's okay. Nobody else is. Frankly, perfect is boring. Although God is perfect and he's not boring. But here's the thing. These are my boundaries. I deserve to be loved. Do you believe that you deserve to be loved? I'm sure you believe that you deserve to be loved, right? I'm sure you do. And if you do, hi Instagram, good morning to you as well. So you believe that you want to be loved, that you deserve to be loved. And it is from that understanding of your worth of, hey, this is me and I'm good enough to be loved. And if this is love, I love to go back to First Corinthians 13 about what the definition of love is. Hi, Casey. How are you doing? Good morning to you. And that definition of love basically is love is patient, love is kind, love holds no record, it's not boastful, it holds no record of wrongs, it is not self-seeking. Go back to that initial definition of love and see whether you are following it, and whether the people in your life basically are treating you with love. What are you accepting and what are you rejecting? And that's what I wanted to also talk about today. What are you willing to accept? And why are you willing to accept it? I know for me, certain things are a no no, and I'm sure they are for you, like violence is a no no. Okay. The one thing that I've learned, especially being in relationships, if somebody hits you once and you don't do anything about it, you're saying to them that they can do it again. That's what it is. Okay, if I did it once, and maybe it goes not just for violence, but it goes for everything else. If I'm abusing you in any way and you don't say anything about it, for whatever reason, perhaps because you are afraid, or for whatever reason, if you don't bring it to my attention, it has to be a person who's very self-aware and very selfless to say, I'm going to stop. But if you're going to continue taking it, I'll continue giving it, because that's just human nature. So we have to be able, even that's why I named the series Start from Who You Are. Start with who you are. Because if I start from my value, even though I'm afraid to communicate my boundaries, I'm going to find a way to do it, because I'm starting from the fact that because I am this, I should not, in any circumstance, even though I'm afraid, I should not be taking whatever this other person is giving. So, what are your boundaries this morning? What are your no nos? What are the things that for you, if these things happen, one, you might walk away. Two, you'll have to say something if it's not that egregious. And, you get that person to shape up. But we must have those kinds of things that we decide are not for our person, are not for who we are. Because being that way, if, for example, I always love to use the example of the BMW. If you're driving a BMW, there's a certain kind of fuel that you put in there. Why would you go put the regular fuel and mess up your tank, mess up your engine? You'd want to put the best in there, because the nature of the BMW dictates that it takes a certain kind of fuel. What about you? What is that thing so precious about you that it makes you determine what you're willing to take? Guys, am I looking like straight off? Am I looking off? Let me know, okay? So I kind of have to figure out. I have my laptop open, and then I have the Instagram open as well. So we're kind of going to figure it out one of these days. So bear with me, let me know how it looks. Any suggestions for how to make I just didn't want to do Instagram through Restream like I usually do. Okay? So, what did I just do, Lord? Let's go to the chat. Okay. All right. Hi, Casey. Casey saying you're great, thank you. Okay, awesome. Right. So here's the thing. Once you've decided these are my no-nos, one of the hardest things I have found is it's very easy to communicate your boundaries to people you don't know. Like, okay, no, I'm sorry, I can't do it. I'm sorry, I'm sorry you did that. Like, for some people, it's very difficult. I know for me, the easiest thing to do, if I don't really know you, I can just basically say it respectfully. It's easier to say it. What's very hard is being in relationship with people you love, family members, your significant other. and communicating your boundaries. It can be very uncomfortable, can it not? It can be very uncomfortable. But here's the thing, again, if I start from who I am, it becomes inevitable that I work out a way to say it. See what I mean? I need to find a way to say it. I need to find a way to communicate to the person I love and that I'm in a relationship with, whatever relationship, romantic relationship, or your friendships, or even a work colleague, because I'm always thinking long term, number one, that if we can set our boundaries and you know what I can take and what I can't take. And also, if I know and you can communicate to me what you can take and what you can't take, do you know that makes for a greater and a deeper relationship, a more authentic one where we are more at ease with each other, that it's just a better relationship. So that's the first thing. Like, if you are ever thinking long term with anybody, romantic partner, friends in particular, you want your friend to be in your life for a while, you will be willing to go through the discomfort of setting your boundaries, right? You should be willing to go through the discomfort, Wendy. Oh my goodness. Right? You should be willing to go through the discomfort of setting those boundaries because it's going to make for a better relationship. So, with that in mind, here's the second thing. It's not a matter of, okay, you know what your boundaries are. And somebody, a good friend who unwittingly or whatever has maybe just transgressed, stepped on your boundaries, and it's difficult for you to say it. Might it be in how you say it? I had this wonderful lesson that I learned some time ago where I thought I was helping a friend, okay? And I I did something that I shouldn't have done. I overstepped boundaries, basically. And what I absolutely learned a lesson about was, even though your boundaries have been overstepped, you do not have to come out with a hammer. You do not have to come out with a dagger at the person because these are my boundaries. How dare you? Absolutely not. My friend was absolutely warm. Yeah, give it to me. Like, why would you do that? I was like, I'm so sorry. I didn't know what to do. I thought that what such and such or whatever. But that person was just so loving in the correction and in the resetting of boundaries that I learned a lesson that, yes, have your boundaries. Yes, know how far you will go, what you're willing to accept. But there's no need to be able to communicate those boundaries in a way that will destroy the relationship that you're trying to save and to deepen in the first place. See what I mean? And I just learned that lesson. I was like, yeah, I will always, especially with people who matter to me, I will always communicate my boundaries and watch out for them communicating theirs in any way possible. But I don't have to do it in an angry way. I don't have to do it in a way that's offensive. I don't have to do it to make a friend feel bad about himself or herself. You can communicate your boundaries lovingly but firmly. Do you agree? How do you communicate your boundaries? Tell me. Like, how do you say to people, hey, this is, I don't feel comfortable with this. Maybe we next time, can you do it that way? And here's the other thing, too. There will be discomfort after you've communicated a boundary. There will be perhaps like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. I shouldn't have done that. That person running to you for comfort and for the assurance that even though they transgress your boundaries, it's okay. Watch out for that and just be like, it's okay. Move on. Move on to something else. It's okay. Again, you have nothing missing. You see why it's so important? Because we will be corrected. We will get things wrong. So at in the foundational level of yourself, you need to just simply know you have nothing missing, nothing broken. So I can take correction because it doesn't say anything about who I really, really am, and me being broken or being complete. You are complete. You start from there. So you then can take correction. It's people who feel very insecure, who feel like any criticism says something so deeply about them that it shows their fissures and their cracks and their weaknesses. It's those kinds of people who cannot take correction or even give it. Okay? You don't want to be one of those. So watch out for after the correction. Don't rush in. Let it sit. It's awkward. It's okay. We have those awkward moments and silences and you know times between each other where it's just uncomfortable, and it's okay. Sit into it, because once you get out of it, and once you get over that period of, okay, she has set a boundary, he has set a boundary. I feel bad because I was the one who transgressed it. Okay, that's fine. Do I still have a friend? Yes, I do. Do I still have relationship? Yes, I do. It's just uncomfortable. And you don't have rocks without river, no river without rocks. So you just simply ride it out and get to the next level of the relationship, which hopefully is going to be deeper, better, clearer, because boundaries have been communicated. So, how do you set your boundaries? Number one, know what they are. Know that you're not meant to be trampled upon. And we're going to go very deeply into values next week, in terms of what do you value? What do you agree with in your life? You mightn't have it, but it's something, an attitude, an attribute that you agree is important. And though you mightn't have it, you look forward to having it in your life. That's what values are. And once you know what your boundaries are, where I stop, how far I'm willing to go, how then do you communicate to the people around you that these are my boundaries? I'm arguing this morning for communicating those boundaries in a loving way, in perhaps a professional way, if it's a professional setting, but in a way that says, hey, even after I've set my boundaries, there is still love. And in fact, I might go on and say that it is because I have boundaries that you can rest assured that the person who's showing up is the person I am, even when you're not there. That's very, very important. Okay, everybody. So we've ended. This is like the first week of July already. Oh my goodness, where is time flying? Did anybody get on Threads? I'm on Threads, you guys. I don't even know what people do with Threads. Okay, years ago, like all the way, I think back in college, I used to say, like, sow your reality with the thread of your dreams. And now we have Threads. Jumped on the trend? Are you on Threads? So, like, it's the answer to Twitter, I guess, from Facebook. So if you're on Instagram, it's very easy to integrate and to just migrate over to Threads. So you guys tried. I'm on there already, not doing much. I'm just trying to see what there is to see. But it seems to be great because it's words, right? And here's the last thing that I realized about Threads. You know how there's been all of that just messiness with Twitter? It's just been messy. You just joined? Oh, did you? Yeah. Okay, great, Melissa. Hopefully we can connect there. Like, it's for people who like words, I realize. Although they say the video there is great. I've been just watching what everybody's doing. But here's what I like about it. It's like Twitter without the mess and without all the bacchanal and all of the that's why like, it's very important that you have a business that has a great reputation, because that can make or break you. One of the reasons, like, I wasn't even very much on Twitter, but just because Thread seems to be peaceful and doesn't have the drama of Elon Musk and what's happening in Twitter, I feel like me, like a lot of other people, are willing to just migrate over there because it's less drama. And it got me thinking, being an entrepreneur, about how it's so important to, like, protect your reputation and protect the business and make it a place that is attractive. Whatever the business is, make it attractive and make it somewhere that people want to feel at peace in, because everything that's been said about Twitter and that storm that Elon Musk has created around it, it has made it almost uncomfortable to be there. And so it was a great time, I guess, for Threads to come in the mix and to present a product that was more peaceful, even though, and also having all of the advantages, I think, or most of them, over Twitter. Let's see what happens. It's early yet. It's just like a day or two, but go join Threads and, connect with me there as well. Let's see what there is to see. Okay, folks, have a wonderful weekend. I'll be back next week and we're going to do some stuff on values. So if you haven't already, go on my, wherever you're watching me, I just posted the little self-love quiz. Why don't you go do it? It'll take you like 3 minutes and just see whether, one, you really don't like yourself, you feel like you're like meh, you're okay, or you are thrilled to be you. I know I'm thrilled to be myself, because if I had to be anybody else, I wouldn't be as good a person being them as I can me. So why would I not do the survival tactic thing and just absolutely be in love with who God made me to be? What about you? I hope you are thrilled, absolutely thrilled to be yourself. So go do the test and see whether you hating yourself, you just feel like you're okay, or you are thrilled to be you. Thank you and see you next week. Bye.